Hey middle schoolers, last week we finished up the parable series and now we're doing something just a little bit different. Last week I asked you guys to tune into the Big Church live stream on Sundays at 10 a.m., which is today. But if you missed it, luckily you can still find it on YouTube or on Facebook by searching University Fellowship Church. The link is also in the bio of this Instagram page. So if you haven't watched that, stop this video, go watch that, and then come back here and we will talk about some of the applications of that sermon for you guys as middle schoolers. All right, so if you're at this point in the video, you have watched Brad's sermon on the beginning of 1 Timothy. Brad talked about 3 misuses of the law and 3 proper uses of the law. And if you can't remember what they are, they're right here and here. Now, as a middle schooler, you're probably thinking, that was a lot of words and things that are pretty hard to understand. How does this apply to me? So let me give you a way to help you think about this. Picture the responsibilities of a Jesus follower. When we say, Jesus is going to be my king now, our lives change quite a bit. And part of that is rejecting sin. Brad talked about that from this list here in 1 Timothy when he says, for those who strike their fathers and mothers, for murderers, the sexually immoral, men who practice homosexuality, enslavers, liars, perjurers, and whatever else is contrary to sound doctrine. When you hear those words, do you think to yourself, oh no? Or do you think, who cares? If those words stress you out, like cripple you, make you so you can't sleep anymore at night, then you are likely falling into what Brad called legalism, which is where you think you're earning your salvation. Now, if you hear those words and you don't care about them, you're likely falling into what he called Antinomianism. Big word. It's like apathy. You're apathetic, which means you just don't care. You're falling into apathy. Now, we're not slaves to sin, but we are supposed to fight it. There is a high bar for the Christian that is never lowered. So you should feel the weight of that high bar. But Jesus on the cross gives us grace for when we don't reach it. Every single time. So here's my challenge to you guys. Look over this list one more time and see if there's any one of those things that you struggle with. Or maybe there's something not on this list that God has been putting on your heart to deal with. And instead of saying, oh no, or I don't care, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write that sin on a piece of paper. And while looking at it, I want you to pray something like this. Jesus, thank you for your mercy. Help me to be more like you. And then I would like you to share this sin that you want to work on, that you're struggling with a small group leader. This is a healthy response to the law. And this is one that we should start to practice now as young people so we can be in the habit of it as we get older. All right, guys. We'll see you next week, 10 a.m. Sunday.